Thor, Love and Thunder are full of stars, which include Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth. However, it treats them like cardboard cutouts of themselves. Photographed through Jason Boland / Walt Disney Studios / Wonder. A pernicious effect of the Wonder franchise is to empty the word surprise of its dictionary energy and transform it into the cinematic equal of Velveeta or Splenda, a fabricated logo call representing a denatured ersatz of a fundamental delight. The franchise, at the same time as it changed into nevertheless figuring itself out, occasionally unleashed some grandiose idiosyncrasies proper into a theatrical launch, in recent times, despite the fact that even Surprise's efforts to differ its formulas are formulaic. There are few probabilities that its managers dare to take, and the non-public talents of its administrators and actors are submerged in the undifferentiated sludge of its automated spectacle. Thor, Love and Thunder, directed through the way of Taika Waititi, is a long way from the worst of Surprise's big display screen offerings. It's brisk, amiable, and easy. Its inevitably heartstrings-tugging relationships and its sanctimonious experience of reason are leavened with the puckish spirit of Saturday morning cartoons, if no longer their playfulness. And there's a sparkling simplicity and clarity to the story. The script became written through Waititi and Jennifer K. Tin Robinson, but the movie passes through the anxious gadget without delivering any sustenance or maybe leaving a residue. A villain is a person known as Gorr, whose younger daughter dies in his hands as they wander the wasteland in fealty to the god Rapu. The grief-bothered father then encounters Rapu, Johnny Brew, who cruelly mocks Gorr's expectation of rewards inside the afterlife. Gorr moves Rapu down with an available superweapon, the so-called Necrosword, and vows to comply with this primary killing with a celestial reign of terror to exterminate the gods. And Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is next. Thor lives in his reconstructed area of birth of the new Asgard. The specific became destroyed in the 2017 movie, Thor, Ragnarok. His ex, the astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, is located out to have terminal maximum cancers. Chemo isn't operating, so she is going to New Asgard inside the desire that the magic of Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, will heal her. Just then, Gorr assaults New Asgard, unleashing massive spidery reptiles to kidnap the town's kids to lure Thor to his lair. Each Jane and the brand new Asgard resident Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson, who now runs an ice cream parlor, be a part of forces with Thor and his quippy, rock-assembled sidekick, Korg, Waititi, to conflict with the villain. The melodramatic shadow of mortality that dominates the movement of Thor, Love and Thunder has no darkness. It's as vibrant tone due to the fact the movie's glittery CGI wonder eliminated the edge from dying, while the characters that it obliterated at the quid of Avengers, Infinity War, returned for that film's sequel, Avengers, Endgame. However, Waititi, the director of the Holocaust romp, Jojo Rabbit, has redeployed his display-up expertise for mitigating horror. Jane's disease is a mere pretext for the busted-up couple's sentimental reunion, for a greeting card lifestyle's lesson to, by no means prevent stopping, as though Wonder's superheroes might possibly in any other case retire to their USA houses and write their memoirs, and additionally, yes, for but every other homily approximately the promise of the afterlife. With its proliferating demonstrations of non-secular devotion, genuflecting prayer, and life after demise, Thor, Love and Thunder may be the Surprise Cinematic Universe's maximum conspicuously religion-based, and, no matter its exaltation of pagan gods, implicitly Christian, film. Even the movie's one scene of inspired comedy derives its strength from its unspoken Christian roots. It takes vicinity early on, even as New Asgard is still at peace. The sleepy, neo-medieval Norwegian fishing village is also a vacationer appeal in which site visitors appreciate the shards of Mjolnir and sit down through a clumsy and threadbare skit, dramatizing the existence and instances of Thor, that's a self-deprecating stand-in for an ardor play. The hagiographical skit's whimsical simplicity is a touch on the satirical antics that a much less inhibited comedy of the gods might also need to offer. It performs like a wink on the bare-bones histrionics on which a CGI extravaganza relies, and it additionally suggests, probably unconsciously, the narrowing effect of a reverently dogmatic drama on its solid. Thor, Love and Thunder are filled with stars, and spotlights numerous of the most finished dramatic actors presently running. But it treats them like cardboard cutouts of themselves, void of any experience of presence and the authority that it promises. With its plethora of laptop pictures, the film often appears in the direction of animation than a stay movement function. One has to squint even to discover the actors amid the artifice. Gore is performed, with the resource of Christian Bale, with an unfortunate monotony that presents the unmarried difficulty psychology of the script and the individual. The strangest, most bewildering performance dominates the film's grandest set piece, which unfolds in Omnipotent City, the enormous Hall of the Gods in which the boss of all of them, Zeus, Russell Crowe, holds forth. The superheroic quartet travels there on the lookout for Zeus's assistance in combating Gore. But, the Greek uber-god appears to be a bombastic and craven libertine, an intergalactic isolationist content material to permit the universe to burn as long as he's cozy. The idea is clever enough that one should want its additional improvement. Rather, it's rendered in vaudeville shtick, with Crow gambling Zeus in a parodistic Greek-American dialect, whole with mangled language and a chewy accent that seems closer in sound to Boris Badenov than to My Massive Fat Greek Wedding Ceremony. The motion of Thor, Love and Thunder has its moments, mainly early on, whilst Thor, in shocking martial art recurring, stops a pair of attacking motorcyclists with the aid of doing a mid-air breakup. There are a few goofy sidebars related to more than one massive screaming goat, and a recurring trope of Korg presenting backstory with the aid of way of campfire-like memories of yore. The conventional Guns N' Roses needle drops that accompany the film's action, the band even receives a nod within the plot, are a welcome trade from the ordinary brass and timpani blare of struggle scenes. However, the intrinsic pleasure of listening to the stirring old songs amid new picks of the combat's simplest emphasizes all the greater the movie's oddly emphatic and happy militarism, its disturbing mixture of martial swagger and faith-based totally absolutely truth, the unquestioned self-assurance of its protection of divinity itself. The movie conjures a troubling air of onward Christian soldiering. It feels like the franchise has taken a right turn. There even appear like a nod to the second one change and an endorsement of open delivery in the domestic presence, plus a public display of Thor's hammer and axe. It's all nicely and proper for Korg to be portrayed as a homosexual man and for Valkyrie to be depicted as a black lesbian. But the implications of the diverse casting and characterizations are, as an alternative, to portray white male Christian hegemony as ecumenical, welcoming to any who would possibly do its bidding, even accidentally. I don't suspect that Waititi, Robinson, or the actors meant to say whatever of the kind, on the alternative. As an opportunity, the big maw of franchise movie manufacturing, at the side of the distorting strategies of CGI spectacle and the large hollow among the film's stay movement and its final on-screen results, left the artists in large part not able to look what they have been doing. For that, depend the razzle-dazzle and the sentiment go-away visitors greater or a good deal much less in the darkish. The movie, with its place food-like artifice, handiest appears to be made of not something in any respect.